There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away.
The special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds.
I don't care if they call us crazy.
Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away.
The special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds.
I don't care if they call us crazy.
Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away.
The special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds.
I don't care if they call us crazy.
Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away.
The special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds.
I don't care if they call us crazy.
Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away.
The special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds.
I don't care if they call us crazy.
Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away.
The special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds.
I don't care if they call us crazy.
Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away.
The special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds.
I don't care if they call us crazy.
Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away.
The special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds.
I don't care if they call us crazy.
Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away.
The special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds.
I don't care if they call us crazy.
Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to Huawei Connect 2020 education session today. My name is Yang Ying. It's a great pleasure to be the host for this session at Huawei Connect. In this session, we have the pleasure of being together with experts and scholars, as well as technical leaders and founders in the education domain, to discuss how ICT technologies can support the development of education, improve teaching and management efficiency. We hope this session can be useful to you. 2020 is a special year. The pandemic has brought many limitations and inconveniences to people's lives. Many countries and regions have suspended in-person teaching to prevent the spread of the virus. During the pandemic, what are the useful technologies that can minimize the impact of the pandemic on education? Let's welcome Anthony Xu, the President of Education and Healthcare of Huawei Government Account Department, to share with us how Huawei's innovative ICT solutions can support non-stop learning during class suspension. Distinguished Professor Huang, Mr. Jing from U-Learning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Huawei Connect education session today. Here we would like to discuss with you how online education can be conducted during the class suspension. 2020 is indeed an extraordinary year from the UNESCO report, here we can see that more than 87% of learners have been affected by school closures. More than 105 countries have issued school closure policies. With our new ICT technologies and the expertise from our partners, offering cloud-based solutions, we have achieved some results. And we have launched the ICT for Education solution to cope with the pandemic impact. According to this curve, we believe there will be two phases in terms of the impacts on learning. In the first phase, we need to think about how to continue teaching during the pandemic, during class suspension. One approach is to do learning online on cloud, and the other is on-premise virtual classroom. Post-pandemic, when schools are opened, how do we ensure the safety of students who are coming back to campus? We have another solution empowered by the ICT technologies. Huawei Cloud has wide deployment and layout. We have 12 nodes, including those operated by Huawei in mainland China, Hong Kong, Thailand, Singapore, and Russia, as well as South Africa. We also have nodes that are jointly operated by Huawei and its partners, such as in Germany, France, Netherlands, and so on. In total, we have 12 nodes of public cloud to provide the infrastructure needed by online education. A cloud-based solution is deployed on top of Huawei Cloud's IaaS and PaaS capabilities. It is catering to 4 types of users: teachers, students, principals, and administrator staff. We provide cloud-based solutions along with our partners to enable online learning experiences for students. On-premise learning is also a requirement for many countries. Many countries require locally deployed DCs that run their applications. To cater to these requirements, we have provided the solution that is on-premise. Compared to cloud-based solution, this one is also flexible, that can scale according to demand changes and can support customized development. When the pandemic is over, when students are back in schools, how do we ensure their safety? With our latest AI technologies, especially in machine vision, we have proposed several scenarios where we can prevent the spread of the epidemic in school campuses, in the entrances and exits, indoor and outdoor activity areas, and the perimeters of the campus, and the people-intensive areas like cafeterias in the school, with license plate recognition, object recognition, and image processing and analysis. We can protect the health and safety of students in school. We have a very impressive case in Shanghai from the collaboration with University of Shanghai for Science and Technology, which is home to more than 17,000 undergrads and more than 7,000 postgrad students. They're using WeLink on cloud to help them cope with the need to sustain learning experiences despite school closure. Overseas, we have a very impressive case with UMJ University in Indonesia. The solution is provided jointly with uLearning, our partner, who is here with us today. We have provided the solution to help the university enable online learning for students, which won a lot of recognition from the customer. I'd like to draw your attention to Huawei's investments in education sector. We've worked in this field for 20 years. We provide end-to-end solutions from cloud to pipe to devices to support smart teaching and research, smart management, and smart decision-making with our latest ICT technologies, such as AI, big data, and cloud. This is the end-to-end education solution we offer. With years of efforts and investment in the education sector, our smart education solution is now serving more than 70 countries and regions. We serve more than 10 national education and research networks, more than 2,500 universities and higher education institutions, more than 500,000 primaries and schools. We serve more than 800 million users globally. I'd like to thank you again for attending the Education Summit. Education always brings hope. I hope that when we overcome the pandemic, we will be able to embrace a brighter future. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Xu, for your excellent presentation. I have to say, network technologies have helped us address many challenges. With wider coverage, faster network, education is no longer limited to physical classrooms. With the boom of online education, how can we better combine online and offline education approaches and provide better learning experience is something that many researchers in education are looking into. Today we have the honor of having Dr. Huang Ronghua, Co-Dean of Smart Learning Institute of Beijing Normal University, Director of China National Engineering Lab for Cyber Learning and Intelligent Technology, and Director of UNESCO International Rural Education and Training Center to share with us his insights. Dear friends, good afternoon. It's a great pleasure to attend Huawei Connect again. I'm a teacher. In the past semester, it felt like dreaming. Teachers and students could not go to campus. We could only teach and learn online. So I would like to share with you today the innovative practices of online learning. I want to share with you three things. First, we believe we're in the third wave of online education. Why? This is the same picture that Anthony just showed. According to UNESCO, these are the learners and schools affected by the COVID-19 pandemic globally. The peak happened in mid-April. More than 1.5 billion people were affected. Now, still more than 1 billion learners are affected. For those affected by COVID-19, their only approach, their only option is online learning. The situation is getting better, but as schools gradually open, can online education be sustainable? How can we support safe learning environments? How do we combine online and offline learning? How do we prepare better learning and education resources to support schools and teachers and students? That is why we're discussing the new normal internationally in the field. China did relatively well. About 228 million students are affected in the pandemic in China. This is a report on the newspaper which shows a teacher in the classroom. This is a professor of mathematics from Peking University. This is the first online live cast class delivered. More than 1 million teachers have opened up more than 1 million classes online. They have delivered great results. From the Ministry of Education, they have provided guidance on how to guarantee the quality of online education. Teachers have made adjustments to the curriculum. A lot of efforts have been put into ensuring the same level of quality. The same happened in primary and middle school. We have maintained education despite the disruption caused by the pandemic. Students are different from class to class, from school to school, from year to year. Almost all the schools have their own solution that suits them the most. And this is the experience that we can share with the world. We believe we're in the third wave of online education. When is the first wave? We believe it was ushered in by Robert Brown, the former provost of MIT, who announced that MIT is going to open 500 courses worldwide. Their education resources were released on the internet freely, which brought a wave of similar efforts around the world. I remember in China, in 2012, when Beijing was affected by the SARS pandemic, China formulated the standards on elite class resources so that they can be shared. The second wave was initiated by a professor in Stanford. More than 160,000 students participated in the online course on artificial intelligence. After that, MIT, Harvard, Udacity, Coursera, many other platforms followed suit, which led to the second wave of online learning. This is a wave brought and initiated by education authorities.
And in the open courseware era, MIT got 11 million US dollars in startup grants. Now we are in the third wave. In China, millions of students participated in online learning, and around the world, hundreds of millions of students participated in online learning. We got professionals to answer questions, we chose the right technologies, and the online classes were kept short because we couldn't have face-to-face interactions due to the pandemic. On the left-hand side, you can see the practices in the elementary and middle schools, which have been quite effective. So these are the three waves. So one wave every 10 years. And can we have online meets offline as we move forward after the third wave? During the pandemic, we try to spread China's experience to other countries. In mid-March, we launched flexible learning guidelines or handbook. We shared our stories internationally. The most interesting story we shared is one university student in a remote area in western part of China. He went a very long distance to get online course. And another interesting story is that a teacher drove to deliver the books to the students. And we also have stories of teachers developing the coursewares by themselves. And the next one is guidance on active learning at home. How to study at home. And we also provide guidance to the teachers as to how to develop the coursewares. And in May, we provided guidance on open educational practices, like how to organize the resources online. And in June, we provided guidebook as to how to protect personal data in online learning. Once in the conference system, the account and password of one of the leaders were directly shown on the screen, and that caused a sensation. So now we have had a guidebook to protect personal data. So that's what we have already done. So how to design and organize classes for online education? I can give you an example from the perspective of high-level education. During campus closure, how to ensure quality? We need to design the courses. Most of the courses were live broadcasted, but that is only one approach. We classified 5 approaches. The second one is to learn with MOOCs. The MOOC here refers to the MOOC resources, and the third approach is flipped instruction with video clips. And the fourth one is group learning or group discussion. And the last approach is joint online course development by the teachers. That is quite successful. We have a design of blended learning. This is the book I published in 2006 by the Higher Education Press. Based on different teaching activities, we prepare the curriculum, design the activities, and we also conduct instructional assessment. This book has been highly recognized in the industry. In the guidebooks, we also provide different resources: national resource platform, regional resource platform, school-based resources, open resources, and so on. We have Xuetang X and iCourse, which are recognized by UNESCO to provide resources around the world. And these 2 platforms provide over 100 English courses for university students around the world. And many students in the US are also choosing courses on these 2 platforms. So have these activities been effective? The most important thing is instructional interaction. We provide web-based forum, online discussion, brainstorming, and other approaches. And how to promote or how to motivate the learners, how to motivate them to study. The key is to promote meaningful learning, self-regulated learning, team-based collaboration, and problem solving. These are approaches we provide. Most of the teachers are used to giving assignments after the courses, but now students often raise questions before class begins. So the learning outcomes must be clear. They must be correlated with the qualifications and so on. We have a set of techniques for teachers to refer to, and we also have online handbook. So these handbooks or guidelines have been used by over 100 countries and have been translated into over 10 languages. Then what about the post-pandemic era? We call it online merge offline learning powered by educational technology. There are a few core elements to organize large-scale effective online education, like convenient learning tools, effective support and service, reliable ICT infrastructure. Many countries are learning from this experience. And these are the 7 facts in online learning. Online learning is a technology-enhanced learning. Tasks, resources, methods, and service are the 4 elements of online learning. And we also provided many techniques and approaches for reference. We've defined blended learning in 2007 as getting the blend of training right often means focusing on optimizing the outcomes of learning objectives by applying the right technologies to the right learning style to the right group of people at the right time. Lastly, I want to say that from online courseware to massive open online course all the way to online merged offline learning, we need to do 5 things. First, rebuild learning space for schooling, build network with wide coverage, including the private network, have flexible learning and teaching, and so on. These are the trends that schools around the world need to pay attention to. That's all for my sharing. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Huang, for your sharing. Online education is one of the important directions for future education development, and stable and high-speed network connections are the important foundation for the information transmission between people and things and between things. It is also an important sign of high-quality education anytime and anywhere. Now I'm going to give the floor to Hou Fangmin, expert in Huawei campus network marketing execution, to talk about how high-quality smart networks facilitate education in the future. Dear guests, just now Professor Huang talked about online education. After the pandemic, we will see a merge between online and offline education. I can give you an example. Before schools reopened in China this year, we had a discussion with a director in the schools. He mentioned that students were not allowed to stay close to each other in the classrooms. So some students may need to participate in the classes in the dorm rooms online. Therefore, they must reshape their network to support online access. So today I will talk about how to provide high-quality network to facilitate online and offline all-around teaching. I just gave you an example. We need to realize that no matter where you are, in the classroom, or in the dorm room, or in the campus, you can access teaching resources anytime, anywhere. How could we realize that? Of course, we need a quality network. So network is the foundation to intelligent campus. We've worked on many campuses. As Mr. Xu mentioned, Huawei worked with over 5,000 schools in building campus network. And while schools are building their network, there are some common challenges or issues. And these are the common issues. First, we're seeing an increasing number of terminals connected to the network, and the bandwidth required by these terminals are going up. According to Huawei GIV 2025 report, there will be 337 million AR or VR devices around the world, and most of them will be used for education. And these terminals require high bandwidth. In China, we all know that students will need smartphones, tablets, and laptops when they go to universities. And in the future, more and more terminals will be connected to the network. And can the network support so many terminals? That's the first issue. The second, since we need to provide online education, most of the teaching resources will be put on the cloud. So the access is not east-west access, but north-south access. So can the network support and guarantee good user experience? Will there be freezing? That is an important issue. And the last issue is the top concern of the Information Technology Department of the university. If you ask them how many terminals are there or IoT devices connected to the network now, no one can give you a precise answer because the number is changing from time to time. So the network is changing. How to leverage AI to solve the issues in the network. That is another issue commonly faced by the campuses. So based on the three common issues, Huawei provides Cloud Campus 2.0, which has three features. The first feature is intelligent ultra broadband. We upgraded from Wi-Fi 5 to Wi-Fi 6. Wi-Fi offers wireless signals, but the foundation is wired network. So we improved from GE to multi-GE. And for the access of the IoT devices, we have upgraded to seamless and automatic network connection. Many students do not know how to configure the network themselves, but now we offer automatic network connection.
Second aspect is intelligent connectivity. In the past, we rely on a best effort network, but we now need to provide deterministic experience. We need to know what types of terminals are connected to the network and provide the assurance needed and the bandwidth that satisfies its requirement. The third aspect is intelligent O&M. Manual O&M takes days or hours to address a fault, but now with AI, we can make O&M intelligent and automated. We can address the faults by identifying them in the matter of minutes. We have a few examples to show you. Supercapacity. In this season, especially in June and September, IT personnel in schools are the most stressed because of the opening and closing ceremonies that are happening in school. Often people are concentrated in one venue, like in stadiums. When the schools are planning wireless coverage, they plan for the use of directional antenna and others. However, in graduation season or when there are events, there is one person every half a square meter in these venues. With traditional network, it's not possible to provide sufficient coverage. That is why Huawei have software-defined radio (SDR) technology invented. By default, the AP provides two radios so that it provides high speed for all the users. When there are lots of people concentrated in the area, we can adjust the dual radio to triple radio. The bandwidth per user may be dropped slightly, however, it will be able to support higher concurrency, more than 50% higher, so that all the users can enjoy a relatively good experience. Can we deploy more devices to support this density? Not necessarily, because there is interference if we deploy APs very close to each other. This technology can solve this challenge very effectively. And then we come to the wired network challenges. As network protocols evolve, as we have seen in Wi-Fi from Wi-Fi 3, 4, then 5, and 6, when they deploy Wi-Fi, they often consider what kind of cables should I use? Cat 5, Cat 6? Often, when deploying Wi-Fi network, schools have to replace the cabling, which is very costly and takes very long time for the networks to be deployed. That is why Huawei has created a hybrid cable combining the best of optical and electric cable. It supports PoE++ power supply and supports long transmission distance of 300 meters. This hybrid cable can provide the power supply that network cables provide and the long transmission that fiber optics provide. So you don't need to worry about upgrading the cabling in the school from Cat 5 to Cat 6 as we evolve over different generations of Wi-Fi. And you don't need to worry that PoE supply of 15 watts and 60 watts of that is required by Wi-Fi 6 APs, and in the future, maybe the requirement will be 90 watts. PoE++ is sufficient for all of them, which means they do not need to be replaced in the next 10 years. As for intelligent connectivity, in the campus network, there are many kinds of devices. Many devices are needed to be connected to the network, the same campus network. This network must be able to understand what type of device is connected. Is it a camera? Is it a printer? Is it other kinds of devices? So that it can configure the right security policies. The camera should only be allowed to access the servers in the security monitoring rooms. It should not be able to access the internet, because if it can, then someone can place a camera in a campus and monitor what is going on. We must make sure that the security is controlled, which requires a powerful system, such as Huawei iMaster NCE, which is capable of identifying the types of endpoints, and it has a constantly upgraded device fingerprint library. It can identify the type of terminal and allocate the right security access policies to these terminals. What if these terminals do not support Wi-Fi? What if they use RFID or Bluetooth or Zigbee to connect to the network? It is not an IP protocol. But these devices still need IoT gateway, right? So Huawei built an IoT solution with our partner. When you open up a Huawei AP, if you've been to the campus booth, you will see when you open up the AP box, you will see a slot where you can insert an IoT card. And then that AP can act as an IoT gateway. So you don't need to deploy extra cable or devices. One network can manage both Wi-Fi devices and IoT devices connection. With iMaster NCE, it provides open APIs at the northbound. If you need big data analytics, if you need location applications, if you need the people pairing, then you can deploy the applications based on the northbound APIs that are opened by iMaster NCE platform to support the needs of teaching and learning. And then intelligent O&M. The responsive O&M is inefficient, as we know. For a lot of students who discover network issues, some of them may report to the information center, some may not. They may post online complaining about how bad the network is in their school. Some even decide to write letters to the principal saying that our network is so much worse than the school next to us. So for us, the issue is how can we identify the faults before it happens, before it affects the users. Take optical module as an example. Optical module is a small device that is often deployed at the core aggregation layer of the network. If the optical module is broken, it will affect the network connection of a whole building. But sometimes we only get notified after it affects user experience. However, we can detect it in advance and predict that it is going to break based on the attenuation of the optical signal in the optical module. Based on knowledge graph analysis, we can do this prediction with very good accuracy. We can predict 80% of potential faults. If an issue does happen in the network, we need to address them. We first need to demarcate which layer the network fault is. Is it the wired network? Is it the wireless network? It takes a lot of effort to handle that. However, with knowledge graph analysis, with historical data, we can identify where the fault is and provide suggestions on how to address it. We can address a fault in a matter of minutes. We can find the root cause to the fault. And the third aspect to it is network optimization. After the network is deployed, optimization accounts to a large proportion of how useful the network can be. Wireless network is prone to interference in the environment. Students may go to a class to one room and then go to a different room for another class. During the day, they're in the classroom. At night, they're in dormitories. If you need to adjust the wireless network manually, it would not be possible to have the optimal status of the network. But based on historical data, we can understand during what time period on which day people tend to concentrate in which area. So we know how to adjust the AP parameters such as channel and power. With this system applied in many schools, campuses, and our own R&D campuses, we have achieved very good results, and we've also been tested by TOLI, which shows that this capability improves network efficiency by 30 to 40%. That's almost everything I wanted to share with you. I'd like to do a simple wrap-up. Huawei Cloud Campus 2.0 provides intelligent broadband, intelligent connectivity, and intelligent O&M. We want to do our part to contribute to smart education. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hou, for the sharing. From your presentation, we understand that network is a cornerstone to ICT in education. To support efficient and innovative online learning, apart from stable network connection, we also need diverse applications and content and accessible cloud computing platforms. How can we share high-quality education resources is something of interest for many students and teachers. Next, we would like to invite Mr. Jing Shanguo, Chairman and CEO of U-Learning Technology, to share with you Huawei cloud-based online learning platform. Distinguished guests, friends online, good afternoon. Anthony Xu talked about the trends of education post-pandemic. Professor Huang talked about online-offline merged learning, a new topic of research and practice, and talked about the three ways of online learning. Huawei's expert, Mr. Hou, talked about the new generation of smart network provided for campus. Something is needed to complete the picture, which is industry application that is mentioned constantly in Huawei Connect. As a partner of Huawei, we are the people who leverage the fundamental capabilities provided by Huawei and bridge it to the solutions that can address the challenges in China and overseas during and post-pandemic. This is what I want to share with you today, something that we've iterated over the past 15 years. A convergent smart education solution. I will talk about three things. Professor Huang talked about online learning or online-offline merged learning needing to cope with three scenarios. In the traditional education system, we need to address these three aspects. First is high-quality content resources, how to digitize them, how to provide them on a suitable platform for people, students and teachers far away. Second, post-pandemic, teachers and students will come back to classrooms. In this traditional education space, how can we make education intelligent? Third, before we go into or leave a classroom, how do we combine education activities before, during, and after classes in one software, in one application, so that we have an intelligent education organism. This is what we are building in our solution.
Based on the three scenarios, we've drilled down into specific scenarios. For example, we are faced with countries with different levels of infrastructure. In Asia Pacific, we are working with University of Singapore, and in Peru, we need to address the issues of universities in Peru. And for different countries and different universities, we need to provide different solutions because they're at various levels of ICT infrastructure and digitalization. Our current solution can satisfy the requirements of mature ICT infrastructure in Singapore and personalize the requirements in Singapore, and also the requirements of Peru, in which professors do not have their own personal computers. And this is the China solution we can provide to other countries, because we have developed countries and developing countries. The smart online education solution we co-built with Huawei can satisfy the requirements of both developed countries and developing countries, including Latin America and Africa, where ICT and network is lagging behind. We want to connect these countries so as to achieve the development from connection to intelligence. The solution is about improving the content, enriching the content, making teaching space more flexible, and providing more intelligent teaching tools. Now let's take a look at each of them. As I've mentioned earlier, this is not a new solution. This solution has been iterated for 15 years in China, and during the pandemic, with Huawei's 4 regional nodes, we have already deployed our SaaS platform. And in Africa and Latin America, we've got POC customers trying this solution. So this is a mature, available, reliable, and flexible solution. Now let's take a look at the resources. Resource creation, resource management, and teaching application. Based on these, we provide a whole solution. We provide LCMS, Learning Content Management System. This includes course creation tools, and like building blocks, we put the teaching resources into a library. And then our outside users and internal teachers and students can combine these resources freely. So that's the first part. I will not go into details. These are the tools we have. And second, after the pandemic, in China, schools reopened in September, and we're already in the post-pandemic era. Ultimately, students and teachers will get back to the classrooms. After being through the pandemic, how to integrate the digital space with the physical classrooms. With Huawei's computing department, we have combined Huawei's computing capabilities and smart screen with our solution so as to make the classrooms smart. In the post-pandemic era, we hope to integrate the conventional classrooms with the digital space. We provide tools, and we also have software capabilities based on Idea Hub. We also have application components based on Idea Hub. We link them with the video capabilities in the classroom. This can help classrooms be smarter and intelligent, and then we can collect the data. Now Huawei is proposing the Cloud Edge solution so that the videos based on the Idea Hub and the intelligent tools and components can provide the basis for analysis of the teaching. And this is the comprehensive solution. These are some of the tools we provide during online classrooms. Based on the cameras capabilities on Idea Hub and Huawei's camera capabilities and network capabilities, we can provide precise data analysis. And a large-scale standard class activity could be more personalized and innovative. I've mentioned about content and teaching space. Ultimately, through the SaaS platform, we need to combine them together. The SaaS platform is about the LMS, which covers online learning, online interaction, online exams, and all the teaching activities. Through Huawei's cloud, including public cloud, we can support the use around the world. We also support hybrid cloud architecture of Huawei. The public cloud mode and hybrid cloud mode can be linked together with the solution, which originated from China but can be adapted to all countries around the world. We hope technologies can facilitate the development of education. We hope to leverage technologies and work with Huawei and contribute to the shared destiny in the education industry. Thank you so much for your sharing, Mr. Jin. U-learning based on Huawei's cloud is an effective solution to improve efficiency and facilitate fair access to education resources. The purpose of education is to cultivate talents and develop competitive industries. Vocational education is indispensable. Huawei has accumulations and rich experience in ICT technologies. AVIC International is an industry leader in vocational education. Now let's take a look at the signing ceremony between Huawei and AVIC International. We hope to provide better solutions and cultivate competitive ICT talents, build business models, improve education quality and efficiency. Now I will give the floor to Anthony Xu to introduce to us the cooperation between Huawei and AVIC International. This is the last part of today's session, and I'm very honored to witness the cooperation between Huawei and AVIC International in vocational education. And I'm honored to have EBG Global Ecosystem Cooperation Department, Mr. Shen, here. In the vocational education industry, Huawei has a complete ecosystem that's been running for years. Huawei wants to help develop data intelligence and help cultivate talents in the industry. For the shortage of ICT talents, we have a comprehensive solution to train talents for the whole society. We've already built over 1,200 ICT academies and over 1,500 teachers. The ICT competitions are now held in 61 countries, in which over 100,000 students participate in every year, and we have already given 330,000 talents, and we have over 12,000 Huawei certified ICT experts. Globally, with AVIC International, we co-developed a solution which is focused on 3 areas: ICT profession building, ICT smart campus in the countries along the Belt and Road, and the U-learning online education platform. In these 3 domains, with the support of AVIC International, I believe we will have fruitful results this year. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Xu. Now let's welcome Ms. Zhang Yan, Chairman of AVIC International Project Engineering Company, to deliver remarks. Dear friends from Huawei, distinguished guests, today I'm honored to be invited to attend this session. 2 years ago, AVIC International signed a strategic partnership agreement with Huawei. In China, Shenzhen Tianma, SCC, have had extensive cooperation with Huawei. Abroad, in Egypt and Kenya, we have had cooperation with Huawei in various domains. Today, I want to talk about the possibilities of working with Huawei in vocational education abroad. In selling aviation products, around the world over the past years, we've accumulated our resources. We are not selling aviation products, but with these resources accumulated, we are providing educational resources to countries around the world. Over the past 10 years, in the developing countries, we try to leverage our capabilities to develop the vocational education. Like Huawei, we were involved in infrastructure building around the world over the past years. But in the O&M, after the construction, the local countries were short of talents and people with professional skills. After handing over the infrastructure to the local companies, they were unable to maintain the infrastructure. So over the past 10 years, through different approaches, we built over 200 schools, cultivating over 60,000 students. But after the pandemic, how could we bring these schools into full play? Smart space plus cloud platform will provide more solutions. This is one important cooperation between us and Huawei in the future abroad. And in other countries, we will have more cooperation. Like Huawei, we have a good understanding of the countries around the world, and our colleagues often run into Huawei colleagues in other countries, and some of them even fell in love and get married. In the future, in the vocational education industry, we hope to continue to work with Huawei and create more values. I want to thank Huawei and hope that we will work with each other more in the future. Thank you. So now let's start the signing ceremony. We have the Senior Vice President, Mr. Liu Jun of AVIC. We have Ms. Zhang Ye, Chairman of AVIC International. We also have Mr. Zhu Li from AVIC International. We also have Ms. Chen Xiaohong from AVIC. We also have Mr. Chen Rong, Deputy Party Secretary of AVIC. We also have Ms. Shi Yue and Ms. Wu from AVIC. Mr. Shen Shurong from Huawei EVG Ecosystem Department. We also have Anthony Xu from Huawei Education and Healthcare Government Department, Account Department. We also have Ms. Li Hua from Huawei. Thank you for attending today's session. Now I want to invite Anthony Xu and Ms. Zhang Ye to come onto the stage to sign the agreement as representatives of the two companies.
Welcome Shen Shurong from Huawei and Liu Jun from AVIC to witness the signing. Please sign the Strategic Cooperation Agreement. Please exchange the agreement. Congratulations on the signing of strategic agreement between Huawei and AVIC International in the education domain. We wish you greater success. Thank you all. Please stay and take a picture.
好的，谢谢各位领导。
Thank you so much.
好，在此再次感谢各位领导和嘉宾莅临本次
Thank you
会啊，
for
我们的
attending
现场。
today's
那
session.
么我们本场的论坛到此暂告
That
一
is
段
the
落，感
end
谢各位
of
的到
today's
来，
session.
请带好您的
Thank you
随
so
身物
much
品，有序退场，
for
谢
your
谢。
time.